The academic whip has its own functions. It's basically its own aids, and I want to show you guys how it works. So I know we've done a little bit of a video already where we've sort of vibrated the foot and pointed the whip downwards. And this is how you can use the academic whip, by supporting all the 4 aids when the horse is being trained. So basically the academic whip functions to support all of the aids, to help you better teach the horse how to respond to the aids, how to bend, how to move off of an inside rein or outside rein or an outside leg. And so I want to just ride here in front of you for a few moments and show you how that actually works. So here I can both use it also, I could use it here on my inside leg, or I could use it as an outside rein to get her to move her neck over, or even to get her to move her shoulder over. When I'm riding forward here, if I'm riding one-handed, which is the more classical way, if I take the whip to the inside rein, the shoulders should move out and the outside hind leg should move in. Okay, so this is the cue for basically the haunches in. When I'm not using the whip, I'll just lay it up against my shoulder right here, because it's basically right there in her blind angle where she can't see it. So if I'm moving it around, then she can see it and she should be responding to it. Now, if I want her to bend a little bit more around my inside leg, then obviously I step down in my inside stirrup and I can kind of push her rib cage out and away from me right there, so that my seat bone is able to sink deeply and get the correct bend through her body. Now, let's say that she bends too much in her rib cage and is actually falling in with her haunches. Then I can take the whip a little bit back and send her hind leg a little bit more sideways, and then send it forward if I feel like she's falling in towards me, and then I just lay the whip up against my shoulder again where she can't see it. So again, here I can take the inside rein out, take the shoulder out, take the haunches in. There. I still cue her with my other aids, but this is just a support. Or I can take my whip to the inside leg and gain more bend. When I do that, I hardly have to do anything anywhere else. Or I can take it back and actually take the hind leg a little bit more sideways and then send her forward. So those are some of the ways that I use my whip, my academic whip, when I'm riding, and it really helps also for building future scenarios like riding Liberty. So here she doesn't bend enough, so then I can take my whip right there, and I don't have to tap. That's only if she doesn't listen to me pointing it. So usually I just point it, and that's quite enough to make her nice and soft. Or here, if I want her to take her outside shoulder around or away from the whip, I can do that. And again, here I can make her move a little sideways or make her move away from the outside rein, also taking her into like a half pass or haunches in. Good. Okay, and eventually I can also use it as my outside leg, of course. I can take it back here behind me and I can move her haunches over better. If she's, let's say she's not really listening to my outside leg, then I can take it back there and support my outside leg with it. But the best function I find for the academic whip is actually up here by the shoulders and by the inside leg. This is where I feel like I need it the most. So here, when I'm dropping my inside leg down, if she gets a little bit slow or if she doesn't bend correctly, then I can take it to my inside leg. Or I find in particular some horses, they want to overbend, so they throw themselves on their shoulder, And then I want to actually take the hind leg more underneath them so that they start lifting their shoulder forward, their outside shoulder, because it's always a diagonal from the right inside hind leg to the outside shoulder. So first I'll fix the bend. If that doesn't do the trick, then I'll reach back here to the last rib cage, and then I'll send the hind leg sideways just like that. And as soon as I've got what I want, then I put my whip back up again to rest on my shoulder and away from the horse. And here again, I can simply take the whip to the outside shoulder, have the horse move away from the outside rein that way, or to the inside, have the horse move the haunches in and the neck out. So I don't have to reach back to my outside leg in order to get the haunches in. I can just take it right there on the neck. And here again, if she lacks a little bit of bend, then I can take it to my inside leg. Or if I need my outside hind leg, I will just reach over like that and have her come away from my outside leg, and then resting the whip back up again. And it's the same, you can do it in all three gaits. So we trot a little bit here, and I just take a little bit of extra bend using my whip. And it just allows me to support both my hand, my seat, and my leg whenever I need it. Again here, taking the outside shoulder a little in, or taking the inside shoulder a little out. Taking the inside hind leg a little bit out, or taking the outside hind leg a little bit in. And back to creating the bend. Changing directions, I can take the outside shoulder with me in kind of a tight turn, or take the inside shoulder a little out. Inside shoulder out with the haunches in. Taking the outside shoulder with me again. Taking the outside hind leg with me in. There. Inside bend. A little bit here. Here I drop the shoulder a little bit, so there. Whoops. So inside bend, or taking the inside hind leg a little bit more out, sending it more sideways in order for the horse not to lean on my inside leg. Oh. Okay, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. It's a very important one. I feel like the academic whip can be such a great tool for training the horse to come off of pressure, to be able to bend, even performing a one rein stop with just using the academic whip. And it really helps you through the lateral exercises to be able to move the different body parts of the horse and just have the simplicity of just the horse being able to see the whip. And really that is quite enough to move the horse around and keep them nice and loose between their shoulders, nice and bent through their neck, especially this spot right here on the neck is kind of the magic area where if it's not aligned completely or not bent completely, then the horse can kind of take a zigzag shape through the spine, and that will ruin the stellung and the bending. So I find that the academic whip to this area right here really helps the horse bend the spine correctly. And then of course you just have you will already have taught your horse all of the aids when you use this whip, and it just helps reinforce all the aids, making it much clearer, so that when you do move on to maybe bridleless riding or riding at liberty, everything's going to be so much easier because the horse already understands the 4 aids and is soft and pliable and flexible. Okay, so I hope you guys really love this video, and I'll see you in the next one.